Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru-Paramparam Gurur-Brahma Gurur-Vishnu Gurur-Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, from today onwards, we will be taking a different text. The text name is called Bhaja Govindam. This is a popular text, as Pujya Swamiji highlights regarding this book. He calls him as that the book of conversion. So converting a person, not from one religion to another religion, but converting a person who is extrovert to become or to make him introvert. And if you look at this text, this is attributed to Adi Shankaracharya, but there is a lot of confusion. But always we give benefit of doubt. So when they say that it is attributed to Adi Shankaracharya, we just hold it as it is, but never say that it is written by Adi Shankaracharya. It does not look nice. And moreover, this text is believed, that is how the attribution comes, that Adi Shankaracharya was going along with his disciples, that too in Kashi. The story was okay. How far the story is true, lot of issues are there. That's why I am very carefully using the word it is attributed to Adi Shankaracharya. Why? Also we'll see. Let us go along with the popular version, then after that we'll start understanding where things have gone wrong and why. That when Adi Shankaracharya was going to Kashi along with his disciples, so he came across a person, that too an elderly person. So who is busy memorizing Paninian Sutras, especially Dhatu Patha. So to understand grammar, so the person has to memorize, because that is how it happens. There is no other choice. That's why to learn Sanskrit without tears is very difficult. In fact, somebody wrote a book, Learn Sanskrit Without Tears. That book became a big hit. And interestingly, if anybody learns Sanskrit, first day there will be 10 people, second day 8, third day 5, fourth day 3, and you will discover seventh day only one person. And remember, who is that one person? The teacher, okay? Not any other person. This is all about Sanskrit. And especially because the reason is why Sanskrit is a language by studying which your mind has to think in a systematic way. This is the beauty in Sanskrit. That's why Sanskrit is one of the languages which is accepted by computer, because there is logic, there is system. And mind does not like Sanskrit. This is the problem. Because mind doesn't want to be systematic. So when mind does not want to be systematic, that's why people do not want to learn Sanskrit. And you know, very unfortunate thing happened in the name of, this freedom movement, so-called National Congress of India, prior to independence. Because in India, with great difficulties, during Mughal time, prior to, let us not talk, it was a golden era, and also during British time, Sanskrit was very common. People from one country to another country, means one kingdom to another kingdom, they used to converse with Sanskrit. That was India. And moreover, when Britishers came and introduced English, so what happened is now one group of people started learning English to superimpose their power. That is how Sanskrit started becoming less popular, but still it was continuing. Then towards the end, of course, with the mind of Britishers and mainly our great person Mahatma Gandhi destroyed Sanskrit in undivided India. He destroyed. How he destroyed? Because we have to see this point here. That when there was a tussle before independence, it means before division of India and Pakistan, what should be national language? There was a debate. And of course, this Mahatma Gandhi always he was against Indian culture. Not only Hindu, he was always against Indian culture. He is always portrayed as a great person, but deep within he was completely confused, deluded. Now a lot of fights are coming up now and here against him. So he did not want this Sanskrit to be the national language. So he injected, no, Hindi should be national language. Remember, Hindi is an unwanted language. Hindi has no origin. Just within 400 to 500 years back, Hindi is being formulated. Till now, there is, North Indian Hindi, South Indian Hindi, East Indian Hindi, West Indian Hindi. It's a mixture. Any word and anything can get in. And the most important thing is, in Hindi, the more the Urdu gets in, that Hindi is more exotic. Means indirectly promoting the Muslim. And Hindi has no. That's why we say, who is what you do not know. What is masculine, what is feminine, you cannot say. It's a very funny thing. The moustache is feminine, the beard is masculine. How and why, don't ask me. It's a very funny language. Hindi is one of the funniest languages that I have ever come across. However, coming back, so when the voting started, because I have this point, because destruction point is there, that's why I'm trying to build up everything. How this particular Bhaja Govindam has destroyed Sanskrit. That what happened is, the voting system started. That let us vote, because all the leaders from India and Pakistan, all of them were together, means all Muslim and Hindus. And as usual, always, this old man says, I am not part of it. So you vote, whoever gets more vote, so that will be considered as national language. You'll be shocked to know, both India and Pakistan, all the leaders joined together and voted, and it became 50-50. So when it became 50-50, means Sanskrit 50, Hindi went to 50. Now this old man came up and voted for Hindi. And that is how the Indian culture was destroyed. Because as long as Sanskrit is there, that long the Vedic culture is being upheld. Because Sanskrit and Vedic culture goes together, because it's a very systematic approach. If you start learning Sanskrit, your mind will be systematic. You cannot think any other way. For example, each word that we say, we'll be seeing in details today something. Each word we try to find out the root. Like, in English has no value, to be very honest. That's why we say, this word has come from which word, whether it's Latin or Greek, we try to understand. You understand? There are many words we don't understand. So we try to assume, okay, this word has come from this Latin word or from this Greek word. Whereas in Sanskrit, remember, each word comes from the root, and all the roots put together only 2000 roots. So if you look at the whole Sabda Prapancha, the entire sound world comes only from 2000 words. Sorry, 2000 roots. And it is the combination of different things, and that is how the sabdas, the words starts generating, gets developing. Now here he says, when Shankaracharya was moving, so there was an elderly person on the bank of Ganga in Kashi, because Kashi is a place of learning. So he is memorizing this Dhatu Patha, where the roots, 2000 roots are there. So one of these is called Dum Krunj Karane, Dum Krunj Karane. So means the Dhatu Krunj, Dum Krunj, the root called Dum Krunj means Karane, to do. So that is a way we do chant, we do remember. Like we have tables. How we remember, memorize tables? Because remember, if a child is not asked to memorize tables, that child can never do better in his lifetime in mathematics. Impossible. That confidence will not be there. That's why present day what happens, the children are very weak in mathematics because they do not know, or they have not memorized tables. However, so here also in Sanskrit we have a few things, few rules that has to be memorized. There is no choice, and that is how mind is. Because remember, everything, anything and everything is being memorized in the mind. In short, whatever you experience, whatever you see, whatever you hear, everything gets stored in your mind. But the problem is you are not able to recollect at the right time. So because you are not able to recollect right time, that's why you have all sort of problem in your life. Problem is not that you don't have memory. Problem not that you are innocent. No, problem is that you are not able to recollect right thing at right time. That's why psychologically you are disturbed. Wrong thing comes in right time, right things come in wrong time. You understand? Because you are not able to access your memory box. So here the Sanskrit, studying Sanskrit helps a lot, that you have to learn to recollect right things at right time. That is a process, and whole Sanskrit learning is that. You should be able to access the right thing at right time. That's why nobody wants to study Sanskrit, in short. Because who is going to train mind? Hey, forget, everything easy, why to look at? That is how the situation has happened. Coming back here. When we see this thing very carefully, that the mind keeps functioning different way, and Sanskrit helps to go through. But here the story says, when Shankaracharya and all his disciples were passing by, so they discovered that this elderly man is chanting Dim Krunj Karane, Dim Krunj Karane, and that is how the first verse, it seems, came away. Why are you wasting your time studying Sanskrit? And the destruction version is like how this Mahatma Gandhi destroyed Vedic culture, introducing Hindi. So the destructing version of this is, there is no need to study Sanskrit. Without studying Sanskrit, you can understand anything and everything. So to understand yourself, Sanskrit is not required. And who says? Adi Shankaracharya says. Where? In Bhaja Govindam. You understand? If Adi Shankaracharya said this thing in Bhaja Govindam, then why did he write all the sutra literatures? Lot of things he read. In Sajaka Bhashyam also he wrote. Means how people wants to destroy the culture in different ways. So in fact, if we look at it towards 12th verse, which is called Muhammadgaram, towards end also it shows that maybe this particular first verse was not written by him. Some type of confusion is there. But we'll try our best to see the right meaning, correct meaning, which will be appropriate for everybody. So he says, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. So me, one, Bhaja means, general meaning is do bhajanam, okay? Hare Rama, I hope you understand, okay? Dancing, clapping, rolling, all methods, okay? This is new therapy nowadays. Nothing wrong in it, okay? So the first meaning is Bhaja means dance, sing, the glory of Govinda. So then they will say Govinda means Krishna. This is the problem here comes. Long before Krishna came, the word Govinda existed. Govinda happens to be, Krishna happens to be, or one of the name of the Krishna happens to be Govinda. Because we have to understand, we are not talking about Govinda here, the son of Vasudeva, or if you want to talk in English very carefully, not a Mr. Krishna. We are talking about Lord Krishna. There is difference between Mr. Krishna and Lord Krishna. Please understand the concept very carefully. This is the beauty in teaching. Because when you say Mr. Krishna, that means lot of confusion and attribution. My personal agenda, my personal frustration. There is a lot of subjectivity. There is a lot of fight. Whereas I look at Lord Krishna, Sarvan Akarsayati Krishna, the one who attracts, the one who is the center of attraction. That is called Krishna. Then we see what that attracts. That is called Govinda. So what is Govinda? Let us look at this Govinda. Govinda, the word Govinda, Go means has got different meanings. That is how they look at Govinda means Krishna. One of the Go means cow. So the one who has a cow or the one who protects cow is called Govinda. So interestingly, Lord Krishna was a coward boy. He protected cows. That's why he is called Govinda. But next meaning also is there. Go means sense organs. So the one who is the master of sense organs also is called Govinda. That's why we have a particular verse in the morning we chant that Karagre vasate Lakshmi, Karamadhye Saraswati, Karamule tu Govinda, Prabhate Karadarsana. On the tip of your palm, that is how you are supposed to see one in the morning. Before seeing anything, you are supposed to rub your hand. First you are supposed to see the palm and chant this. Beautiful way of looking at life. Means don't try to project your frustration on anybody. Don't push yourself in the morning either. Don't speed up your engine. Don't rape your engine unnecessarily in the morning. So we say that Karagre vasate Lakshmi. On the tip of the finger, tip of the palm, Lakshmi resides, the prosperity. How? We'll see. Then the literal meaning is this. Karamadhye Saraswati. In between, the goddess of knowledge. Karamule to Govinda. On the root, means let us at this place. So what happens? What it says? Govinda. That's why in the morning, may you see the hand, and which is auspicious. Because the hand stands for action. So he says, at the tip, the end portion of the action means result brings the prosperity. Prosperity is nothing but the Lakshmi. Kara madhye tu Saraswati. While acting, in action, you need what? Knowledge. If there is no knowledge, can you work? And if that's why you have to work. Why to work? To discover that you are a Govinda. Means you should be able to master over your sense organs. You should be the master of your own sense organs. So the second meaning of Govinda here is called the one who is master of sense organs. But interestingly, we'll take the third meaning here. So go means also sabda. Gohi sabdehi vindate iti, lavyate iti. That one who is being revealed, that one who is being gained by the sabda. And what sabda means? The teachings. Vedanta vakyaihi. So that means the Lord that is only revealed, is gained, is understood only by the teaching. That is called Govinda. We have seen in Tattva in details, okay? How the pramana works, how this Vedanta Vakya works, not anything. Because the God is not the matter of perception. By pratyaksha you cannot understand God, nor through the inference, remember. You cannot infer God. Because inference also presupposes perception. Yes, you can modify, you can do many things, but remember that inferring is not going to help to understand God either. So in short, to understand God, you need the help of the teaching. You need the help of the Shruti. You need the help of the Pramana here as Veda. So he says beautifully, that is called Govinda here. That which is revealed through the teaching, through the words of the teaching. So that's why he says, Bhaja Govindam. So Bhaja means Sevaya. So Sevaya means this is how to serve. Beautiful way to look at. So we say, when he says Sevayam, Bhaja Sevayam, to serve, why do you serve? What is the purpose of serving? Generally people serve to gain something. To gain power, to become close, to gain this, to gain that. You know, remember, whenever including your parents or whomsoever you are serving, how you serve, with sense of guilt, with sense of arrogance, with sense of this, that, or to get something. Because I remember, especially when we were children, I remember very well this thing. As a grandchild, we want to do something. Do you know, if the grandfather asks something, take one cup of tea or coffee or whatever, you reach. After that, bargain with him. Hey, I brought tea for you, coffee. Can you give me something? So as a grandchild, always serve the grandparents, not to serve, to bargain with. You understand what I am trying to say? Hey, give me. Okay, that is really very nice. Grandparents also enjoys, everybody enjoys, because it's really nice. Now just look at yourself. When you serve, don't you think that same attitude somewhere or other continues or not? Hidingly. But here he says, that is not seva, that is not serving. So here serving, we say, with seva, we have got a beautiful word called susrusha. Goes together. Susrusha means srotum ichha. So you do serve in order to listen to. That's why always it is advisable to serve elderly people. Why? When you start serving elderly people, they do teach you something. They will try to share their life experience with you. And when they start sharing their life experience with you, you start learning. So that means seva must end up, or the purpose of the seva must be what? To listen to. So the person should be willing to listen to, willing to learn to. So that's why here he says, Bhaja Govindam. So now you need to be available to listen to, so that you will be understand what? The Govindam, the God. And who is that God? The God is none other than Pratyek Atma, none other than you. So the title is Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. So that means do seva, so that you will be able to listen to, you are available, your mind is available to the teaching. And through teaching, you try to understand the God, the totality. And what is that God, the totality? The God is none other than you. That's why may you do bhajanam. Nothing wrong in it to start with also clapping Bhaja Govindam, absolutely no problem. Because through that you start growing, but that is not the end. That can be the beginning point. Doing bhajanam, singing loudly, glorifying the Lord can be the beginning point, nothing wrong in it. But that is not the end point. That is not the purpose either. That cannot be considered as the path. You understand? Sometimes they say, this is the ultimate path. This is the confusion, this is the problem we have. Yes, this can be, nothing wrong in it. Why not? If we are shouting and if we say something other, why not to say, Govindam, Govindam, start singing. What is wrong in it? That's why he says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Now, let us chant so that it becomes easier to go. Okay, Jyoti, you can take over. Bhaja Govindam, please let me see, because so that somebody singer is there, so why me to break? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. I thought you will take over, okay? What is this? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sanhite kale, nahi nahi raksyati dunkrunj karane. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate.
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dunkanj karane. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dunkanj karane.
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Very good. Okay, enough. So good. So the first verse starts saying, O Mudhamate, O confused one. So what is confusion here? So if you look at that story that we started with, so the elderly person, and who is that person? The one who is, almost going to die. After all retirements and everything, now he starts learning Sanskrit. We have a beautiful saying, that when there is a fire, now you start doing kupa khananam. You are digging a well. There is already fire in the house. Now nearby you are digging a well so that the oil will be ready. Then you will lift the water and wipe off the fire. Is it possible? Is it advisable? So in the last moment, when you are about to die, why are you wasting in this chanting grammar rule to learn grammar rule? Yes, grammar rule is must. You could have done long before, when you were young. Not towards the end of your life when you are about to die. Just you are going to die. Actually, this is the first meaning we can look at. Second thing also interestingly we can look at. Many ways we can look at. So, Dumkrunj Karani. Because it has not been put any other rule. Because if it is any other grammar rule, like ayun, relok or some other thing, then it would have been interesting. We could have taken this way. But he uses a Dumkrunj Karani, to do. So that means each one of us are being engaged in different ways towards the end. So basically, that is going to give me freedom. That is going to give me satisfaction. Especially towards the end of the life, just observe the elderly people. Those who have done something in their life. They have their funny ideas, which have been developed and cherished, and of course they want to fructify, hold on to, stick to towards end. And they are busy in many ways, thinking that that is going to help, thinking that that is the solution, thinking that that is the ultimate. So that is being challenged here. Says beautifully, look, whatever you are doing towards the end of your life, the way you are being busy and you are saying that you know everything, you have experience, and of course because you have worked so much life, you have your resources. Now, is it really going to help you? Don't you then think that you are trying to run away from yourself? Don't you think that you are really trying to avoid yourself? Why are you being engaged so much? Just look at this particular point psychologically. Especially towards the end of the life, people are engaged in various ways. Why are they engaged in various ways? Because deep within there is fear. Deep within there is loneliness. And they don't want to be alone, please understand. Because they think that aloneness, there is a big difference between being alone and lonely, feeling lonely. One can be alone but will not feel lonely. But these people come to the conclusion, being alone is loneliness. This is one of the most confusion, these elderly people. The moment they think that they are alone, alone is equal to loneliness. Is wrong. You can be with the crowd, still you can feel lonely. That happens. So loneliness has nothing to do with being alone or not to be alone. But most of the elderly people in this context think that being alone is loneliness. Now they want to run away. They want to make themselves to be crowded. That's why they are engaged. That's why in the process they try to run. That's why they are more and more frustrated in their life. And that is what is being highlighted here. Oh Mudhamate, you are confused. This is the problem. Suppose if you are ignorant person, absolutely no problem. Because an ignorant person, please understand, can be, woken up, you can wake him up. Whereas if the person is already deluded and thinks that that delusion is right, that's the most important aspect. If your delusion is completely concluded and you think that is right, and based on that you start working, then you become arrogant. So the arrogance presupposes, please understand, the arrogance presupposes delusion in you. Without getting deluded, you cannot become arrogant in your life. So with reference to anybody or anything, when you are arrogant, that means already you are deluded, or there is delusion with reference to that object or that person. So he says beautifully here, O Mudhamate, O deluded one. Now what happens means deluded person can be woken up, arrogant person difficult, because already you have expressed, very difficult. So O deluded one, don't waste your time doing what you are thinking, or don't try to run away from yourself. But what you need to do Govinda Bhajanam. Spend time to know yourself. Spend time to know the Lord. And what is the Lord? The Lord is none other than you. More of it we'll see in the next class tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति।